Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about how I lesson plan each year. Since we had all this time off, well not off, but at home for Corona, I have been planning for next year already, which might be different than usual, but I just planned as if it was going to be the same because you never know what's going to happen. So I'm going to take you through the steps that I do to plan for the year. Okay, so first things first, this is like a disclaimer. I have not always planned this way. This is my first year like full out planning this way I'm going to show you. In the past I've done like variations of it, but to be honest, my first and second year, I was just trying to survive. Like, planning was a nightmare. No one ever really like sits down and tells you like how to make a curriculum map for the whole year, and it was just kind of a hot mess. So I feel like I was like living week to week and month to month. But this last year I did a better job at like mapping out my what's that called? Like my math units or whatever, so that I could do the room transformations and everything with that. But this year, I think I finally nailed it, even though we might not go back to school or we might do online learning or whatever. But we're gonna pretend that we're going back to school in August, and I'm gonna show you how I plan for it. So the first step is I take what the school gives me, so whatever curriculum your school wants you to use, which for me this year is going to be Engage New York, which is our first time using it. In the past, it was Envisions for math. I only teach math and science, so I'm only planning for math, not ELA. So for math, I take Envisions or Engage New York for this year, and I like go through every part of it and break it down week by week. So for example, Engage New York is 7 modules, and each module, it's very nice. It's like kind of broken down by day. So I just used their daily lesson plans and I broke it down by week on this curriculum map that my district is having us fill out. So I will show it to you so that this makes more sense. My desk is an absolute disaster, but okay, here it is. So this is like the binder of all of the curriculum. Actually, I have 3 of these, but this is grade 3 module 5. So when you open Engage New York, they break each module down for you. So lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, all the way through, this one's 30 lessons. And then they build in a few days of like review and stuff like that. So I knew that I was just gonna go day by day, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be 1 week. So I have this curriculum map here, and over here I wrote 5 days because this is the first week. Lessons 1 through 5, module 1, I wrote the module, wrote all the vocab. Weekly assessment, which kind of varies, so I just kind of made that very generic. Then we had put our then we put example questions from like the state test in there based on which learning standards it comes with. And then these are learning targets, which I kind of need to fix, as you can see my coach comment on it, but I need to make these more like in student terms. So I can understand equal groups of multiplication, that one's kind of fine, but some of these get really wordy. And what I did was I just took them from right here. So that's why they're kind of wordy. So I need to fix that, but that's how I did that. So basically I went through the whole year, you know, quarter by quarter, and I just filled in a bajillion pages of that. I didn't look like that much because I scrolled really fast, but it is 42 pages. Okay, so once that stuff is finished, that's like the main content. That's what I turn into my district. That's what, like, I have it on my desk. The state wants to see that kind of stuff. That's great. I understand that. That's what I'm mainly teaching. But also, I need some fun and engaging lessons throughout. So, then what I do is I take the school calendar for next year, because in the first thing, some of them say like, well, each one says 5 days, and you would think of that as like a week. But obviously, we don't have 5 days of school every week, so it's not really a week. So I look through here, and I make a whole new document, which sounds crazy, but I go through and I write each week down. So I write August, week 1, and then the date, so 13th through the 14th, 2 days, and then for there I wrote none when it says like what math I'm gonna do, because the first 2 days of school I'm not doing like jumping right into Engage New York. We're gonna do like fun stuff and team building and stuff like that. So then the next week, August, week 2, there's 5 days in that week. The dates are the 17th through the 21st, and then for Engage New York I have the first week from my curriculum map. And then for fun stuff, that's where I put like things that I see on Instagram that I want to do, or fun stuff that I create, or room transformations and stuff like that. So let me show you this so that it makes more sense. So it's super basic, but this is what I do. And then see, like this week just says team building, and then this is multiplication, division, kind of like our whole first Engage New York unit. And I will film more like little tiny fun activities in, like games that we would do for morning circle or stuff like that that has to do with multiplication and division. But my big room transformation for multiplication and division is Monsters Multiplication University. So I know that during this week, when it's almost over, I put it right here because I know that that's the day, or that's the week that I'm going to do it. And I usually do these on Fridays. Then down here, we start time, and I know that I'm going to do a glow day for glow time, so I put that over here. So basically every time I'm going to do a room transformation, I already have it on the calendar, just so that I know when I need to have that stuff ready. And then, see, like some of these are just little things, like multiplication and area. Last year I forgot to do a Cheez-It activity with area, so I put that in there. So this column over here will be a lot fuller once I go through and kind of like fill it in, but I just like to do the main room transformations, or like the holidays, Valentine's Day is during this week. So I know that whatever I'm doing, so let's see, fractions, I'm gonna need to come up with some cute Valentine's fraction activity because I like to do something fun on Valentine's Day, or March Madness. Hopefully that makes sense, but this will be a lot more full. I just like to know the fun stuff I'm doing along with the main content that I'm doing. Another reason that I use this is because I like to see which days we don't have school. So I always do my room transformations on a Friday or a Thursday and Friday together. I don't like doing them in the middle of the week because I feel like they're crazy and I don't like taking all the stuff down for the next day. So I always do it on a Friday, and if I plan one on a Friday on this and then it gets closer and I realize that we have a PD day or the kids have a half day, then I get annoyed. So that's why I go through and I write down like every PD day we have and half day and all that, because Fridays are just kind of crazy. I feel like it's always something. But speaking of that, this year I'm trying to have more of a structure with my like class and my planning. So Monday through Thursday are kind of all gonna look the same. I'm always gonna do the same thing, so my kids are gonna know. You're gonna think this is crazy, but I feel like in the past I've kind of done random things, like some days I'll do centers, some days I'll do a whole group lesson, which is fun, and I get sick of it, so I like to change it up. But I think my kids need more of a structure, more of a routine this year, because it was a crazy year. And since I have the same kids, I know them, and I know that they need a routine. Zoe's over here like scratching herself, and it's making a really loud noise. Lastly, for planning, once it comes this time, like once the school year starts, then I just plan week by week. So everybody does it differently at my school. There's not like a certain format that you have to follow, but my first year at this school, I used an Erin Condren planner. I think that's how you say her name. And I did really like it. I love writing stuff down. And I have these friction pens that are erasable, that are game changer. Love them. So I liked writing stuff down, but then I always find myself like throwing the planner out at the end of the year, or just like not really going back and searching through it. I think it's easier when you use like Google Drive or something to do your lesson plans, because you can easily go back and search the next year. So halfway through this year, I started using Google Drive, and it was kind of a game changer because a lot of the things I could just keep the same. In my Erin Condren planner, I was so crazy that I would like go to the next week and I would write all the subjects across the top, all the times across the top, all the kids that get pulled out, and like random stuff like that, which just, it's kind of crazy thinking about it now. It's such a waste of time, but I did that. So now I just use a basic, kind of just like this actually. I just do the topic, the learning standards, the learning targets. I put like what we're gonna do basically, and then I put my centers and all that stuff in there. So it's really nothing special. I'm not gonna show you it, but I think taking it online, taking it digital was probably one of the best things that I've done. But since this video is about planning, I did want to share my favorite planners with you guys. So I love this brand. Happy planners are my new favorite thing because of just the concept of them. I love that you can like take stuff out and put stuff in whenever you want. I know it's just kind of like a binder, which sounds silly, but I like that it folds like this, like you can just write on it. binders have to like stay flat open. You can't like flip them over and stuff. So my first year, like I said, I used an Erin Condren planner, and then last year I used like a simplified planner, I think that's what it's called. It was in a binder. I did like those, but they are kind of expensive. So I found these ones cheaper. Don't get me wrong, they're still like 30, 40 bucks. But the cool thing about them to me is that if you buy the hole punch that goes with it, which I did, looks like this. It's not a normal hole punch. It punches papers so that they look like, here, I'll show you. So that they look like this. Okay, and then you just take your paper and you put it like this over the rings, and you kind of just like snap it in. And it doesn't really fall out. I mean, none of it ever falling out for me unless you're like throwing this on the floor or something. But the cool part is these rings, you can reuse them. So for example, this planner right here that I have, well, it's not a planner. I had a planner, and then once that year was over, I took all the paper out of it and I just kept the rings. And then now that I am doing an online class, I laminated something that I printed off the internet, and then I hole punched it. So this is laminated, this is the cover. And then I printed out all the workbook pages and everything like that, a calendar, and I just hooked them all right on in there. So now I can reuse this. It's like a planner or a binder for something else. They also make little ones. Let me find it. I have so many of these things. They also make mini ones. So this is a tinier one. You can't really tell on the camera. But I use these ones as my weekly to-do list. So I'm even using them. This is this week. So I just write all the things I want to get done on each day and then just use it as a checklist. I think it's so handy. And then during the school year, I also take these to school. So I have a big one and a little one. I just have a bajillion of the rings. They have them in all different sizes. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at Michael's. They also have cute stickers, planner stickers. Happy Planner does. But yeah, this is not a Happy Planner advertisement. I just really like them. I know that was nothing crazy, but I get that question a lot. How do you lesson plan? And I also get the question about what kind of planner. My sister just texted me, what video are you filming? This one. But yeah, so I know that wasn't much, but basically that's how I plan. And if you guys have any questions, you can always message me on Instagram at Miss Curtis's Classroom, or you can comment below and I will comment back to you. So thanks for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.